Hi, welcome back to Beyond Today for Tomorrow. I am your host, Valerie, and I am coming to you tonight on our new night. So I'm going to give a brief tonight. This is going to be short and sweet. I'm going to give a brief update on my medical journey. And then I have two motivational moments. Yes, you're in for a treat. So sit back, have your cocktail, have your water. Let's get into it. All right. I know tonight we were supposed to be getting into black women's fertility, but the guest that I had lined up, she was a little bit under the weather, so we're going to reschedule that for another time. But I didn't want to let a week go by that I did not give you something. So tonight we're going to have one. We're going to have a twofer motivational moment. Of course, right after I kicked that off, things got crazy at work, but I'm still going to be committed to what I started. So health wise, I am officially a month out from having my radioactive iodine. I'm definitely in hypothyroid status. I had my blood work done and my TSH is through the roof. So my doctor, versus putting me on a medication that I have been familiar with, Armour Thyroid, we are doing a different combination. And the medicine appears to be working great. I have very few side effects, but I'm taking Terosint and a T3 pill. So versus giving me a medication that has both the T3 and the T4, we're doing the Levoxyl, the straight pure, because the Terosint is a gel pill. And then the T3 is just a little bitty tablet. And I cannot tell you how important it is to have healthcare professionals that listen to you and take seriously what you're saying. I told her, I said there were some weeks where I just really felt like I had been hit by like a Mack truck. I was still working as normal, still trying I think we had a little technical difficulty, and that helped a lot. It didn't get my energy levels back. So I personally added some green tea and some 4D. So I took the green tea in like the capsule form because I am kind of like um, a picky drinker, so to say. So I wasn't quick to just drink straight green tea, but I did add some 4D. It's a energy. It has caffeine in it. It has enough caffeine to be compared to a 12-ounce can of Coke. But it doesn't make you jittery, but it gives you like this subtle energy. Now, mind you, I'm not drinking the whole water bottle that I should, so I drink half of it, but it gives me sustained energy through the day, because I've noticed also since my thyroid surgery that I haven't had a desire for coffee unless it's like a frappuccino, and we know those are not good for us. But I think we're figuring it out. Um, I'm more patient this go round because when I first had thyroid issues back in my 20s, I was like, oh, I need everything to get back to feeling normal. And it took me 8 years after that surgery. So I was 30 when I finally got that figured out. So we just have to, I'm telling myself, be patient with my body, give myself some grace. My doctor, she told me that too. She was like, give yourself some grace. She had two major surgeries. Um, and so right now everything is still going good. Everything else, my all my other blood work came back great. Everything was green. And I was happy about that because I was happy but frustrated because I have been trying to lose all the weight that I've just been, I felt like sabotage with for 2 years while chasing the thyroid. And then I had fibroids. And I mean, it was just like a whole cluster of issues. But I have gotten back in the gym. I actually made it 4 times this weekend. I'm going to work out with my friends in the morning for a boot camp that we're going to do for a month. And I'm excited about it because I'm like, woohoo, it's still small group. We're still being safe. I've been wearing my mask and I tend to go to the gym later in the evening just so everyone is pretty much cleared out. And so I have the little spray bottle and I spray my machine down and I work out and I'm enjoying it. What's really great is that I wake up the next morning and I'm not feeling tired and my muscles are not feeling like, oh, they're not achy. So that was great. But I definitely have to watch my electrolytes. So every now and again, what I'll take a Gatorade and I'll just split it in half. I'll do half water, half Gatorade to kind of cut out some of the sugar content. And, the thing that my doctor and even my health coach, they are like my cheerleaders, so to say, because they're like, don't get frustrated because you're not seeing the results externally. They're like, your blood work proves that you're doing it. You're making better health. I'm making healthy eating choices. I just got to get my body back to the point where it's like, okay, we're going to shed this weight. So, and trust me, it is very frustrating, especially when you're working out and eating right and you don't sit on the scale. It's like that commercial years ago where the little cartoon character said, my husband and I decided to lose weight. We cut out bread. He lost 30 pounds. I gained 3 pounds. It's that kind of thing. But we're going to stay positive. I'm going to stay positive. So tonight, on tonight's live, I'm going to talk about 2 things. My first motivational moment that I really wanted to do Monday, I really wanted to kick it off because, I want to say a few weeks ago, I went to a revival with my mother. And yes, my mom invited me to church and I went. And it was at the Potter's house. I'm not ashamed to say it. It was at the Potter's house. And I really enjoyed the sermons because he wasn't saying, happy, touchy-feely things to make you feel good. He was actually saying things to help you think and be more reflective. But that caused me to look in one of my old journals. And I think out of all my mother has 3 kids. So when I say out of my mother's kids, it's not like she has a lot of kids, but 3 kids. I was the one that was always in a book, either reading a book or writing in a journal. And I remember after I had my son, I used to have this journal and I used to think about the scripture in Matthew. It's Matthew 14, 22 through 33. So I'm going to tell you, my motivational moments are based on Christ because I am a Christian. Like it, love it. That's your deal. I am who I am. I actually come from a line of ministers. My mother is actually an elder and my brother is too, now that I think of it. But I've never felt like that was my calling. However, I do believe that sometimes God speaks to me and I feel like, hey, these are relevant lessons that I'm learning through my own life. So this motivational moment is called Walking on Water. In Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 to 33, there's a storm and the disciples and Jesus are caught in the storm. The storm is metaphorical because we all go through challenges in life, right? Right. Okay. I love Peter because Peter is one of the bad boys of the Bible. Yes, Peter would be the disciple that you take out to the club because he's going to be the one that gets rowdy, probably get y'all thrown out, and he's ready to fight because that was Peter. You might catch him doing some shady stuff, but that's still Peter. But you have to remember the church was built on Peter. So that's one thing that I love about God. It doesn't matter how screwed up your life is or how bad you think you are. He can still turn your mess into a message. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So they're in the boat. The storm starts. Those disciples had got in the boat first, right? So Jesus had told them, y'all go on over there. I'll catch up with y'all. Well, it starts storming. I've never been in a storm in Israel, but I've heard that they could be pretty notorious, the summertime storms. So anyway, they get in the boat, and next thing you know, they see this figure walking on the water, and this is Jesus walking on the water. So Peter, for my logical thinking mind, says something that we all should say. You know, when we feel like God is calling us to do certain things in life and we don't feel like we're qualified, or we can't quite wrap our head around sometimes the dreams and visions that we have for ourselves. So Peter said, Lord, if that is you, tell me to come. So first of all, let me stop. People always talk about Jesus walking on water, but there were two people on that water that night. While Craig and them stayed in the boat, that means the rest of the disciples, Peter walked on water to Jesus. People don't never really pay attention to that. They never really highlight that. They're Christ-centric, but maybe they're limiting God's ability when they only focus on that. Because let me tell you something. In that moment, Peter could have did the running man on water. Peter could have ran on water. He could have did anything he wanted to in that moment because God told him to come on. He said, come on. He didn't give a sermon about coming out the boat. He didn't say, well, put on this safety gear. He was like, come on. And Peter came. And Peter was okay until Peter started listening to Craig and them who were left in the boat. And that had got me to thinking, how many times do we psych ourselves out of things that we have purposed in our heart to do because we're listening to the people who are sitting on the sideline not doing anything? These are the people that are always ready to talk about somebody else, run their mouth, bump their gums, and talk about somebody else, when in actuality, you just probably need to sit back and watch, because maybe you could learn something. Maybe if you got off your high horse and you're, oh, well, I'm too good to try anything, you would see a miracle in your life. So, my first motivational moment, you can walk on water too. Stop listening to the naysayers. Do what God has put in your heart and watch the miracles unfold in your life. And let me tell you, everyday miracles happen. You just have to be willing and open to witness them. So with that, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to get into my second motivational moment, and then we'll do some housekeeping and I'll let you go. Carla.
What's up, y'all? It's Michael Sean from Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. And just in case you missed the show, check this out.
I got to call Coco Brown. Coco, good morning. Wait, is she up? Let me call her. I'll be back.
She might be asleep.
I'll be back.
No. Don't go nowhere because I'll call her too.
Mike's calling D. Ray Davis live.
No, I'm calling Coco.
Calling Coco
live.
Please leave your message.
Oh, she sent you the voicemail? That was fun.
We're about to start terrorizing everybody.
It's just calling people in our phones. I like it. Try the Diddy number. Try to call Diddy.
I don't have a Diddy number. Why?
Right, I
don't have
it. I wanted to come from
No, you call it. You call the Diddy number.
I'm
not going to do it from my phone. Why I got to do it from my phone? Shorty's got to say call Mike J. Michael Jackson. Ain't nobody got that number.
I think he said call Mike Biv. Probably. She probably said.
Oh, call Mike Biv. Call Mike Biv.
I don't know if this is the. All right.
Who's this?
Michael Bivens, some New Edition.
He's driving me out of my mind. He's not going to answer. You're not going. You're not going.
You know you, Jay?
Stop.
Yeah, let's call Kobe.
Hello?
Yo, Biv.
Yes?
Oh, wrong number.
No, is that
Yep,
Michael
I'm
Bivins?
afraid so.
All right. You know Mike?
You know Michael Bivins?
Mike Bivens?
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I haven't had a phone call for him in years. I got this number 10 years ago, and it just happened to be Mike's old number, and I get these calls all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we're from a radio station. Can you hear me? We're from a radio station.
We were good friends about 10 years ago, like you said, yeah. And I ain't got his new number. I figured let me try it. And you
I wish I had his number for you. But tell him I want concert tickets. My name is Tom.
Wait, Tom. Are you a fan of Michael Bivins? Are you a fan?
Can you hear? Are you a fan of Michael Bivins?
I don't know his music at all.
Oh, you don't know, but all right. But Tom, sorry to harass you this early in the morning, but
No, I'm up and at him, so no problem.
all right, Tom. All righty.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you. Bye.
All right, Tom.
Do you see how happy he is about life when your wife? Do you see how happy? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm talking about right now.
You call somebody black this early and they mad. What? They angry. No.
I don't know that dude. I don't know
I
that dude.
wish I had Mike's number. I'd give it to you right now.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. Your escape from reality. Right here on Free Agent Radio.
Welcome back. So I have a clip to kick off my next motivational moment. Carly, can you put it up?
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself.
That little Amazon video or commercial really cracked me up because so many times I hear men and women say, oh, it's like a fairy tale. Or when I met him, it was like a fairy tale. No, boo, it wasn't like a fairy tale. It could have been a nightmare. Just hold on. So while we live in a society that is focused on instant luxury, we want queen bee status without doing the queen bee work. I have this simple lesson for you. Stop trying to live a fairy tale and live your life, because your life can be so much more when you release the stress and pressure that you're holding onto trying to live a fairy tale. Have you realized the realness of a fairy tale? Cinderella was a maid in her own home. Sleeping Beauty was poisoned by her stepmother. Sounds like the daddies had issues with picking women. Snow White had to go live with 7 strangers because her stepmother wanted to kill her. So Mulan had to cut off her hair, dress like a man in order to prove her greatness. When are we going to stop letting life sell us some BS? Because it's bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now. Because you can have your own home, whatever that is. You can have your own greatness according to your own definition, and you can live fly on your own without saying, oh, it was a fairy tale. Because you know what? A few weeks ago, in the spring, Channel ABC did a con special. And it talked about this lady who lived in New York. Yes, the state where supposedly nobody can be hustled. Well, this lady was an executive producer for NBC, and she got hustled and taken by a guy that, quote unquote, gave her that fairy tale. He had her spending money that she should have been saving. He had her daughter involved in some craziness, all because we're waiting for Prince Charming. Fuck that. Live your best life and let God bring you the right person in your life that when you're together, it's not a fairy tale. It's reality. You're going to have your good days, your bad days. Some days you're going to love each other and some days you're not. But let's stop putting this sick psychoness in our psyche, and we're walking around waiting for Prince Charming. Because what if Prince Charming doesn't come? Or what if your Prince Charming doesn't look like you? He didn't go to the same school as you, but your Prince Charming is different. Let's stop putting pressure on ourselves and stop limiting ourselves by some false, fake definition of life. Because when we do that, we're able to breathe and enjoy life and take the small moments that will turn into big moments and make the best out of them. One thing I can say, I have friends that are married and I have friends that are single. I'm single. And I have learned, I think it's Paul said it, whatever season you're in life, to enjoy it, to enjoy my peace. I see some of my married friends stressing and they wish they could have a piece of my peace. And then I see my single friends, they're like, oh, I'll do anything to be married. And when you will do anything, anything will come for you because you've put out that negative vibe. And no, that doesn't mean that I'm stuck up, but I have my standards and I'm not going to apologize for that. If I won't carry an imitation bag, why would I want to be with an imitation person? Because this is not the 1950s imitation of life. I don't have time to be in a relationship so I can be with everyone else and say, oh, I was married now, so are you going to accept me? If you're going to accept me, you're going to accept me like I am. And you're going to get in where you fit in, because the person that comes into your life, they're going to interrupt the normal and it's going to be good. You're not going to be stressing. You're not going to feel like, because his spirit is going to vibe with your spirit. And you guys are going to be complimenting each other, helping each other build something. You're going to build wealth. You're going to change the world. You're going to give your children life lessons and experiences that are phenomenal. So let's break this cycle where we have our sons and daughters living in a fairy tale existence. And instead of being the maid of the house like Cinderella, you're going to own the house. And instead of running away, you're going to wage war against the enemy that wants to take you down. Because being in a fairy tale is real work. Oh, and before I forget, yeah, Ariel sold her birthright to get that man. So don't give up your birthright. Don't change who you are. If you laugh loud, laugh loud. If you like to sleep late on Saturdays, find somebody that likes to sleep late with you. And trust me, there's somebody out there for all of us, because God promised. And the Bible says he's not a man that he should lie. So I'm going to leave you with that this Friday evening. Yeah, I got a little churchy, but you know what? Some of you guys are probably not even logging on to church on Sunday, so you can handle it. So, as I was stating in the beginning, I am going to start going live on Friday evenings. My schedule has changed a bit, and I think this is going to work best for me. And I will be updating my blog with my motivational moments. And I will hopefully next week have a guest, because I want to get us into really health and fitness right before the holidays, so we can survive the holidays without putting on extra pounds, so we can make it through Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So until next time, this has been Valerie with Beyond Today for Tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Bye.